KCMO Talk Radio is back in the blue. Tour stop number 10 is live from North Kansas City. It's Mundo in the Morning.
All right. Detective Brandon Spencer's here. We are in North Kansas City. It is great to be here for another Back the Blue tour stop on KCMO 95.7 FM. And Brandon oversees general investigations. So, Detective, good morning. Thanks for being here on KCMO.
Good morning. Thank you.
Well, you know, you and I were just talking off the air, and I wanted to start the conversation here because I think a lot of people don't really understand, and even I had some follow-up questions for you, how all this works. So you're dealing up here with a more transient population in North Kansas City than at least the community's had arguably ever. You're surrounded by Kansas City, Missouri. And let's say you're investigating somebody who steals from the CVS over here or the Quick Trip or something like that. What happens when it's something on a municipal level? What happens and what are your options going forward? How does that play out?
If the business wants to assist in prosecution, which means they want that person arrested for stealing from their business, we'll arrive and we'll place that person under arrest. Mm-hmm. We'll transport them back here to the jail, and they'll be given a ticket and a bond. Mm-hmm. If they can't post that bond within 4 hours or so, they're released on a signature bond. And then they're just walking right out the front door. So
they walk right out the front door. And then you may arrest them a few hours later if they're stealing from somewhere else in North Kansas City.
I have been involved in having to arrest the same person on the same shift.
And then the same thing happens. Yeah. You've arrested the same person on the same shift multiple times.
Correct.
So you bring them back here, same deal, right? 4 hours.
Same deal, 4 hours, and they're right out.
And they walk out the door. And then what happens from there in the legal process with these people? And let's be honest, some of them are homeless, right?
Correct.
So what happens then?
At that point, we continue the same game. Hopefully, at some point, we can get other entities involved. I think you were talking to Kat DeShep earlier about CIT issues. You know, if that person has other issues, we'll try to get them into a shelter of some sort if we can, give them a ride somewhere else if we can. They'll have a court date with that ticket that they were arrested on, and hopefully they'll show up to court. If not, they'll have a warrant, and next time we run into them, we'll arrest them on the warrant, and it'll just keep going.
I mean, that's where the homeless crisis, I think, really has an impact on small businesses. It's a time constraint for the taxpayer, for you and the North Kansas City Police Department or any police department dealing with this. So how much worse has this problem gotten in recent years, specifically for you in North Kansas City?
I mean, it's always increasing. Crime is increasing. The transient population is increasing. And when we don't have anywhere to, we'd always love to have the option of not arresting someone, right? We always want that first. We want to solve it before handcuffs go on. But once we do that, we don't really have any other options. We can't take people to Clay County for a municipal hold. So that we just continue the cycle.
Yeah, so the cycle just continues on, and sometimes you end up with just the same people. And I'm sure that you recognize some of these people, right? You're like, oh, here's Bob again, right? I mean, Bob's showing up again for the same old thing that happened, whatever it was, a few days ago. So these people just cycle through the system, it seems like. Is that what goes on?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow. Detective Brandon Spencer is here. So what other things when you talk about general investigations? I mean, everything from violent felonies to obviously, lower-level crimes. What's the list of things that you're overseeing and you're covering in your line of work?
Yeah, we have three detectives, Detective Baker, myself, and Detective Young, overseen by our sergeant. And we'll get anything from the stealing that we're talking about from Quick Trip to a homicide and everything in between.
How is your job different from what people see on television and in the movies?
It is not as glamorous, absolutely not. You don't have one person solving all these crimes. You're working with other agencies. You're working with other officers within the department. You're working with businesses. Just for one case, you're gonna you're going to need help from numerous people. And I think that's kind of.
Did you get into it because you wanted to be this as a kid, and there was some movie or show that you really liked?
No.
No? Oh man, that wasn't a yes. I kind of wanted the answer to be yes, and then the follow-up was going to be, what show did you watch?
I never thought I was going to be a cop.
See, I loved it in the early days, Law and Order SVU, when Chris Maloney was on there. I mean, that's going back 20 years now, but that show was great. So you weren't into any of those shows. You didn't really care about any of that stuff.
It wasn't a big.
So
TV
how'd you end up
watcher.
doing this?
I just kind of fell into it. Graduated right here from North Kansas City High School, did military, came out, went to college, and, just thought about what I wanted to do and how I could use the skills that I have developed, and this is where I landed.
Is it difficult? I imagine that a lot of these investigations, maybe they don't, you tell me, take some time to solve, right? I mean, there's a lot of time. You mentioned working with other agencies. Is that a difficult part of the job when these things sometimes take months, if not years, to try to solve and get to the bottom of? How much does that wear on you when you're going through this stuff months on end?
Absolutely. I mean, you'll have these cases that take months or even a year or more to solve, and the whole time you're getting more cases put on your desk that need the same attention. So you end up building quite a large caseload, and sometimes cases go unsolved because of the caseload that you have.
So you're a North Kansas City guy. What year did you graduate there?
From North Kansas City High School, 2007.
2007, okay. So relatively young guy yourself. Are you? I know we talked to the chief about trying to recruit there and get more folks out of the local high schools and communities to consider this line of work. Have you been involved in any of that?
Very small part.
Okay. Well, what would you say to young people then if you're talking to them about considering a career like this? What's your pitch to them?
If they're considering it, come talk to us. We'll talk to you. We'll tell you what we see, what we do, what we think about it. I would absolutely encourage people to come if they are considering a job in law enforcement.
Good deal. Well, Detective, we appreciate you being here on KCMO. Thanks so much.
Thank you.